What is going on, guys? This is the Bogey-Free podcast for the Masters. I'm your host, Evan Cheney, today joined by my normal co-host, Matt and Jimmy. And today we have Andrew from Fanshares Sports. How you doing today, Andrew?
Doing well. Thanks, Ev. How are you?
Great. Dude, this is going to be awesome. Been looking forward to the Masters for a while now. Matt, Jimmy, what about you guys? You pumped?
Clearly, you can see that I'm pumped.
Yeah, let's talk about this getup for a second.
Well, I lost the Abbey bet this week, and I decided to, instead of go just really hate it and kind of go away from it, I decided to steer into the curve or steer into the skid and just embrace it. So I've decided to fully embrace the Toby persona. I named him Toby. I don't know what his name is, but since my Abbey's a shirtless, hairless, like 17-year-old, like thuggish white kid who goes by street name SPF 99, I figured that that's who I'll be for the night. So I figured there's no better way to kick off my punishment and Masters week than this. So in case you're wondering, alcohol was involved in this decision, and I'm fired up.
I would imagine.
I'll get this ready.
That was the best part of getting ready for the show tonight, Andrew. Yeah, me and was like, do we drink on the show? Or I'm like, yes, we drink on the show. We're perfectly fine with that.
Once I saw Jimmy with his shirt off, I knew it wasn't PG-13 anymore. So.
Yeah, we're lucky YouTube isn't pulling us right now. Although we don't have any nipple showing, so I think we're safe on the YouTube guidelines there.
Yeah. Still early, Matt.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's a nipple-free program before 9:30.
Most weeks.
Most weeks, right.
But yeah, Andrew, thanks for coming on, man. I know we had you on last year for the Masters, so hopefully we can make this our own little tradition here. It's good to have you on.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate the invitation, and always happy to talk fantasy golf and ownership, and especially this week. So
yeah, absolutely.
Get to it.
Yeah, before we hit some Masters stuff, I do want to just congratulate our very own Jimmy for his runner-up finish in the Listener League this week. He overcame the Michael Kim missed cut to come in second, and if it wasn't for Poulter's win, he would have taken it down. So congrats there, Jimmy.
It's a marginal consolation to Luke List in this lost Abbey bet, but I will take it. It was my biggest sweat of the week. It was exciting. So it also really sucks losing to Poulter because I kind of hate that guy.
Yeah, I think I've done a full turn on Poulter, and I think I kind of like him again. Is that a hot take? Like I
like the story, and what he did is incredible, and
right.
It's like a great sports story, and it's awesome. Like I just think he's not like a great human.
Yeah,
is maybe like why I don't like him. But in terms of golf and the sport and what he did, I think it's a great story, and it's really, really impressive from like a mental aspect to put yourself in that mindset, knowing what you got to do and go out there and get it done. And like that emotional, like just visceral reaction on 18 was a lot to take in. It was a lot of, just a lot of great golf down the stretch there, and watching him kind of like notch that victory or at least get to the playoff was really like, I mean, you could see how much it means to him. Yeah. So for golf, I think it's great. Just, on a personal note, I think he's a dick.
Yeah, for sure. And I think everybody digging in like against him, anytime that happens, it just makes me want to root for guys more, because I just prefer to be against like the whatever it is, the common thought there. So, but of course you didn't actually take it down. We had T-Fed 1 who eked you out by 4.5 points. So congrats to him. This week's Listener League is already full because I posted it last week. And we have a little sponsorship going on. So whoever ends up taking it down, if you shoot me a DM, we'll get you some Jones Beach Brewing swag, a glass, and maybe a shirt or something. So make sure you do that if you are lucky enough to take it down this week.
Yeah, we know Jimmy might need a shirt.
True.
Actually, no. Hey, real quick, while we're talking about it, I do actually have a shirt. I do have something too. I want to pump. I want to thank the guys at RotoWear. I won one of their retweet like contests. So if you ever wonder if people win those things, I actually won one. So process over results. I could be wearing this shirt, but thanks to Matt, I'm not.
You zoom out a little bit. I didn't see that whole.
It's process over results. Pretty. I'll tell you what, man. Nice. It just arrived today, And the RotoWear swag is a really, really top-notch shirt. Really, really nice. So thanks to those guys.
Awesome.
I know they'll have an underground market with Sixers fans if they really want to branch out into different markets.
I guess I'm not familiar with like Sixer fans, but
we're a proud people. We always say trust the process.
Oh, that's right. Gotcha. I'm not an NBA fan. My apologies.
Sam Hinkie, man who died for our sins.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Phillies fans are the worst. Oh, speaking of Easter, I can finally start talking about course history again, and it's the perfect week for it. So I'm super pumped.
Here we go. Let's get into it then.
All right. Matt, if you want to kick us off with course trends and all that jazz, be my guest.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we're looking at Augusta National, obviously, par 72, a little bit over 7,400 yards. I mean, for those of you that aren't like super in tune, this is a much smaller field than you're going to be used to for a regular event. We're looking at, I think it's settled around 86 or 87 guys for this this year. And it's the top 50 who will make it through, or if you're within 10 strokes of the lead. So whichever works there, to include some guys. There's going to be a ton of 6-6s this week. Sorry, I just froze for a second. I didn't know if I got kicked out or not. Are you guys there? We're good?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay,
no, you're
awesome.
We're good.
You guys all just like froze at the same time, and I didn't know.
The prospect of having a 6 for 6, I think, just sent me into shock there. Those exist.
So basically, if you log on to Cut Sweats this weekend, you're going to see much higher numbers for 6 of 6 than you're used to. So that obviously puts a premium on having some. At least a couple of guys in the top 10, top 5. As far as stats go, driving distance is going to be a little bit more important than a normal week. In the model that I put together, it ended up working out that driving distance is about almost 20 times as predictive as driving accuracy for historical purposes, from I guess since 2003. So we're looking at some driving distance, obviously greens and regulation, the typical stuff along those lines. Having birdie putts is always a nice thing. Jimmy, what else? Any sort of random things that you're looking at for this week, or what else you got?
Nothing too random. I think this course it's a well figured out puzzle. The guys that have played here a lot know how to, sort of get their way around here. Experience means a lot here at Augusta. Trends are a big deal from a betting perspective, and they bleed over into DFS. You'll have to factor that into ownership. But for the course perspective, I think that it's all about par 5s in DFS. I think that 45%, 50% of your points are going to come from the par 5s for DraftKings. So you really just need to focus there on the par 5s. The long par 4s are where guys need to not lose strokes, but really those are your two most important categories of holes. The rest of the course you can sort of forget about from like a DraftKings perspective or like a stat model perspective. It's all about the par 5s. When you look back historically, it's really all that matters. Guys do not need to be great putters here to win, despite Jordan Spieth's, kind of, I don't know. It seems like since 2015 when he won, people have focused on you need to be a good putter at Augusta, and you really don't. You look at guys that have won here, and I mean, if Adam Scott can win at a golf course, you don't need to be a good putter. So it's about getting hot with the putter, and really it's about approaches. You need to hit the right quadrants of these greens. There's a lot of really phenomenal podcasts out there. There's a lot of information out there this week already. But as far as the course, if you really want to dig into the course and learn about it, Mayo and David from the Tour Junkies do a great breakdown, and the Tour Junkies are in Augusta. They've caddied there. Shoot them a DM if you have a really specific course question. But it's par 5s, it's approach, long par 4s. And that's about it. I mean, scrambling can be important, but I think the course will be gettable enough this week with some of the rain coming in that I don't think that guys are going to be scrambling maybe as much as we think or they have in the past anyway.
Okay. Andrew, have anything to add on to that?
Not really. I think Jimmy and Matt pretty much covered it. I mean, just looking at the one of the things we do at FanShare is we aggregate the stats and the trends that people are talking about as well, in addition to the golfers and golfer mentions. We also kind of keep track of which key stats and I guess historical trends people are putting the most value on every week. So it's still early, and you guys pretty much hit all of them on the head as far as what we have as the most kind of touted stats so far. So greens and regulation is our highest right now, followed by driving distance, par 5 scoring, and course history, which is up there. T3 in trending stats, and that's pretty high for course history. It's not normally anywhere near that high, so consistent with what Matt said earlier, and I think that is going to drive a lot of ownership this week. So from that standpoint, I think predicting ownership is going to be somewhat easier this week, not to mention just the amount of buzz generally going on about the Masters. So just, put a flag in that. And the other thing I wanted to flag based on that conversation was neither of you guys mentioned driving accuracy, and I think, Matt, you said it probably is of the least importance this week when it comes to the off the tee stats. Everybody's concerned about Tiger's driver, and the accuracy aspect of that. So, kind of a disconnection there between what people are saying is important as far as accuracy from the tee and what seems to be weighing down Tiger's sentiment at the moment. And I know there's going to be a separate Tiger chat later. Sorry, we made it almost 5 minutes without bringing him up. But.
No, you know what? That's really interesting now, because as I've listened to podcasts, I've sort of picked up on that. There's only like 2 people in the industry that I think sort of are on Tiger, and everybody else feels very much the same way, as you've noted. And what FanShare does is allows you to sort of tap into the industry with one click. But it is sort of a disconnection. So I wonder if we are just inappropriately discounting Tiger's driver because we want to find flaw in it at a course where everyone says it doesn't actually matter.
It seems that way. I mean, I think that drive left on 16 at Bay Hill is still etched in people's minds a little bit. But I mean, look at his approach game, look at his short game. Those are going to come in pretty handy this week. So anyways, just a bit of an observation there, but.
All right. Well, on that note, how about we go? Was that?
Oh, I just said we can move on up. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no. So we'll go to our 10K and up golfers first, and that includes our beloved Tiger Woods. Andrew, I'll go to you first here. Who are you liking in this range? Who would you want to be overweight or underweight on if you're multi-entering in this group?
So I think it depends on, I guess, what your overall strategy is going to be when it comes to roster construction and how much weight you're placing on ownership. Personally, for me, I mean, I think I just touched on it. I do see a bit of an opportunity, at least based on the current sentiment with Tiger. He does have mixed sentiment, and I do think his ownership will weigh slightly. Having said that, at least on FanShare, we still do have him projected fairly high, just because I think there's going to be a lot more public money in the Millionaire Maker, quote unquote public money. Not something we have visibility over, but it is an assumption that we're making, especially with the $20 buy-in this week. I think that might influence things a little bit more, and get some people in there that aren't usually playing DFS, and they might be attracted more to Tiger. So he'll still have a solid ownership floor, but personally, I'm going to have him in my lineup. I also really like Justin Thomas, 10,800. And of course, DJ, as kind of a, not number one ranked sleeper, I guess you could call him. I think currently we have him projected to go, the lowest owned in that 10K plus group. So, those are 3 guys for me that I'm not going to be shying away from.
Hey, Matt.
I mean, it's Justin Lewis Thomas week. Like, there's no, I don't
included.
Yeah, like I don't understand. I don't see the need to play. I'm not going to play DJ at all. I have no interest this week. I think that it just doesn't make any sense for me. I don't want to pay the top price. I've been beating this drum for a while now. I'm really trying to avoid the highest price golfer as much as I possibly can. And if we're talking about last year coming into the Masters, like DJ, even as the most expensive guy, made so much sense, right? But this year, he's not this. He hasn't played the same as he was leading into the Masters last year. Of course, he fell down the steps and whatever the fuck else actually really happened in that situation. But
yeah, what's your take on that? What's your gut? What's your theory?
What actually happened last year?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't have that conversation with a shirtless man, Jimmy.
Fair enough.
No, I think that whole thing smelled super fishy, but yeah. I just, like I said, I don't see the need, like the overwhelming need to play him as the most expensive guy, so I'm just not going to do it. I'll definitely have the most JT, obviously. I'm not going to sit here and lie and be like, I'm going to avoid Tiger. Like, I can't miss out if he plays well. So, like, I would rather just be tilted on Sunday when he doesn't play well than, like, watch him be, like, top 3 and not have any of them. So, I think I'm probably going to try to fit in as much Spieth as I can, too, though, because I don't know where his ownership ends up going. I mean, I'm assuming that he's going to be reasonably popular given his history. Like Andrew mentioned before, it seems like people are going to be weighing that pretty heavily this week. And you can't really beat his course history here. So maybe I'll try to match the field there and just go way overweight on JT. That's kind of my thought on Monday night so far. But I'm on a bit of a moving hangover right now, so my brain's a little mushy right now. Jimmy, what are you thinking up here?
It's hard for me to take like a stance on Tiger. I get it. I know I'm going to be with the rest of the people that don't play him. I will, at least in any like meaningful percentage, I will play some of him. I will play some of all of these guys up here. DJ will be my lowest owned. Spieth will be my highest owned. Thomas probably second highest owned, and Tiger somewhere between DJ and that. But I am going to be multi-entering quite a bit this week, but it'll be Spieth is the guy that I'm going to be going with. He's reverse and or cursed, so if that means anything to you narrative folks out there. But it's really tough for me to kind of get away from Spieth after what we saw last week and him kind of get a little more confidence back in his putter. His ball striking's been absolutely phenomenal. But again, if I had to pick a second guy to win here, it'd be Justin Thomas. He's going to get another major. He's just crushing par 5 scoring, strokes gained approach, the whole nine. People are going to get off of him because he has just a mediocre history here. I don't think that's a good reason to get off of him. We have seen guys at the Masters. It's a major, folks. It is a major. We are finally in major week, and you can throw the rules out the window. I get that there's trends, and I'll read them to you here shortly. But anything can happen, and it is Masters week. So it won't be surprising to me, I guess, if, we get one of these guys that come out and stomps the field and one of these, or just we get a complete nobody. I don't know. I feel like this field's wide open from like the top half up.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Jimmy. I mean, you just look at the top guys. I mean, how can you not make a case for every one of them?
Exactly. It's so hard. And the pricing's so soft. Like, you're going to feel really, really good about every lineup you make this week.
Yeah.
That's every single lineup I've made is just like, it is. And listen, DraftKings does it because they want the casual money, and I get it. And it's cool. It's fun to build lineups. You can build lineups on your phone and you get all excited, and before you know it, you've like spent your bankroll and it works. But you're going to have to take stands. Don't spread yourself out too much. Really, really find and concentrate and narrow down that player pool. It's going to be very important this week because we only have 80 some odd players in the field. 60 are going to make the cut, like Matt mentioned earlier. So you're really going to need to concentrate your opportunities, especially if you're in like the $4.20 entry max. Don't get caught up in spreading out your entries you really need to concentrate in something like that. You only get 20 entries. You need to be focused and probably take some big stands on some guys up here and wherever you have confidence. So that's just sort of my lineup building or lineup roster construction, sort of diatribe for the week is don't get too spread out. Take some stands wherever you believe. And it's, you're gonna have to have a lot of whoever's at the top.
Yeah. Like, hashtag analysis.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like a hot take, but we talk about all the time. But if you don't believe that a guy can win, if you don't believe a guy can win, just don't even bother playing him. Don't try and hedge that 5% or that 10%. Just don't bother playing him. Don't take that a little bit of exposure. Yeah. You need to really concentrate that player pool because everybody else is this week, and you're going to have to take some. Really, I think some contrarian low ownership stands down in the low ranges this week to give yourself any sort of a chance. I don't know if you can afford to play chalk in some areas.
Yeah.
With only 80 people in the field?
Right. 100%. Agreed.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll move on to our 9K guys. Jimmy, I'll start back with you first. Who are you liking in this range? I mean, of course, a little wider. You get some names in here, too. You got Mickelson, you got Rose, Fowler. Who you got in this range here?
Well, unfortunately, Rose has been cursed, which is a shame. Yeah. He was my pick to win on the Mayo show along with 47 other people. I still really like Rose. Everything makes a lot of sense. He has all the trends. Real quick, I'll read the trends to you from Brent Tyndall. 9 of the last 10 winners have been under 40, inside of the official World Golf Ranking top 30. They've had at least one Masters appearance. They've had a top 30 finish in that appearance or prior in another one. They've made the cut the previous year. They have top 10 this season. They are not defending. They are not ranked world number 1. They have had a top 15 2 times this season. They have played in 6 to 8 events or 19 to 30 rounds prior to teeing off at Augusta this week. So those are your trends. The 4 players that fit those trends, according to Dave Tyndall, are Rose, Rory, Ricky, and Mark Leishman. So again, everybody is on Rose. He's going to be your highest owned golfer. So you're going to have to make a decision there. I'm going to have exposure, but I'll probably be just a little bit over field average. And then the next highest guy is going to be Phil. And then Ricky, I probably will have one hedge lineup with Rahm, and I won't be playing Jason Day at all. We'll have a little bit of Rory.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go heavy Rose, heavy Phil, and heavy Ricky. What are your thoughts on Ricky? Is Ricky going to like do what he did at Players and when everyone thinks he's done and he fades on Sunday and he can't win, his number keeps drifting and then he shows up and like wins from like 4 behind on Sunday? Is that what happens this week?
Oh my God, nothing would make me happier than if Ricky won this week.
I've got a heavy piece on Ricky from earlier this year in Jeff Feinberg's words. So if Ricky wins, I would be thrilled.
Yeah,
but like if he wins, it's going to be from like 4 or 5 back, and it's going to be the same way he won the Players, in my opinion.
The thing that scares me a little bit about him was last week. I don't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday, but he had one of those like sort of vintage Ricky stretches where he had like a couple of doubles or maybe like a few bogeys and a triple. Like those big numbers start creeping up, and he's just as likely to sort of bogey or triple bogey at any moment, is what scares me, right? Because you'd have to figure, like you mentioned before, with the conditions, if this has any sort of chance at the winner going super low, those big numbers are going to hurt even more. And I'm hoping that he avoids them, like I said, because I love Ricky, but I don't know.
Like, it doesn't make sense to play him. Like, he doesn't rate well, but it just feels, and again, this is super subjective and I'm probably wrong. I'm wrong. I'm not probably wrong. I'm wrong. But it feels like the type of situation, that Ricky wins in, where just everybody's off and everybody doubts him, and it's Ricky can't close on Sunday. Ricky can't close on Sunday. He sets up well at the Masters. He plays well at the Masters. His course history is good. You know what I mean? Like,
it would make perfect sense. Like, and we've said it before on the show. Like, Ricky is one of those guys that can snap back into form. Like, it's not a gradual thing, right? When he could go like miss 2 out of his last 3 cuts and then win the next time out. Like, he's that kind of guy. He can just find form. So that wouldn't shock me at all. I'll definitely have him, you know, in some tournament lineups. But I don't know. That triple, I'm pretty sure it was a triple. It kind of scared me a little bit, more than like any good result could have helped him in my brain.
It's funny, Matt. Is that just recency bias? Because I'm looking at
100%. Yeah.
Bogey avoidance. Ricky is 6th on tour in bogey avoidance this year. So, I mean, the big numbers from last week stick out, but I mean, when you look at it that way, right? It's like, oh, maybe he does avoid the big numbers.
Yeah, I'm just pulling it up on Fantasy National now, and he does have good bogey avoidance, and then the doubles avoided is the scary part. He's like 47th in the field over the past 24 rounds. Like, so that's my only. I mean, that's the hole. Yeah, like that's the not hole. It's the hole. Whatever. You know what I mean? That's the hole in the argument for me. Like, for playing him, is it just scares me a little bit. Like I said, I will definitely have some of him. I'll probably be like in line with whatever ownership shakes out to be, but I wouldn't be. I don't know. I don't feel confident enough going sort of like way overweight on him this week. That's just me, though. It wouldn't shock me if the scenario that Jimmy just laid out happens exactly, though.
Well, if it does, he'll be the lowest owned in that group. I can all but guarantee that.
Yeah.
You think Rahm will get more ownership than him?
We have him projected slightly higher right now.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, but that could change. We'll have a better idea on Wednesday, obviously, as the trends crystallize a bit more. But I mean, right now Ricky's got pretty mixed sentiment. I mean, 10 start calls, 8 sit calls. So yeah.
All right, so I'm going all in on Ricky then. So it's decided. You've convinced me.
So my next question here, who else I want to get your take on is, I guess, quickly on Day, is he going to his putters where he's gaining strokes and he, like, the rest of his game's just not there. Again, Day can switch it around, but I don't know. I just don't see it with Day. But Phil is like, I think Phil could maybe pull a Jack Nicklaus here, and I don't like Phil. But I think he could maybe win a major on the wrong side of 45. Like, am I crazy?
Yeah. No, you're
It's
not crazy
definitely
at all.
within the range of possibilities.
He rates out top 5 in 3 of my 4 models this week.
Yeah.
And we know, like, how good he is and how good he's been playing. It's like, I mean, I think it's a full-on Jack Nicklaus like situation in the works here.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue with you.
And I think he comes in probably less than 20% owned, which is interesting given, like, I think how popular Phil usually is.
Yeah. Maybe not a lot less, but I think you're right. I think he'll come in under 20. And I mean, what? He's 2 years removed from the playoff loss to Stenson at the Open. I mean, he was right there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the hottest guys on tour this season. Course history, check. He's motivated. I mean, that it just, for me, it goes back to any one of these guys, right? You can make an argument for every one of these guys from 9K up almost.
Yeah, it's really so difficult to, like, make these calls when it comes down to, like, you're gonna, because it really, when you like pair this list down and you get to, like, Wednesday night, you're gonna have to make some really tough calls here this week, and I think I'm gonna have to discipline myself to, like, err on the side of ownership because I think that's gonna be incredibly important this week.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I can't, like I said, I need something else to make the decision for me than just my dumb brain. So it just has to be ownership this week because there's going to be, you know, you're talking about bigger contests and, you know, more people in everything. And I just need to avoid ownership. So there's no way to get back to this range. Like, there's no way I'm going to have more than, like, one lineup of Rose just because I don't care. I don't want to. I don't want to be in that crowd because I don't think it gets you anything. Like at 9,200, the ownership that he's going to see, like if he doesn't win, I'll figure it out elsewhere in the range. I really like Phil. I think I might like Day a little bit more than you, but not a ton. And honestly, I'm just going to play like a crap ton of Rahm too. Like I just can't not. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Rahm is off the radar.
I know, which is like wild to me. Like, and I totally get it because he's had like these weird, like strange fades down stretches and stuff like that. Obviously, recently he's had a couple of weird Sundays.
Hot take: what if Rahm isn't nearly as good as we all thought? I'm kidding. That's I do not believe that. By the way, I just wanted to give a hot take. I don't believe that. I think Rahm is every bit as good.
Those of you listening,
2017.
I hope you enjoyed Jimmy on the show. He's no longer welcome back.
Yeah, we'll just start muting him now.
How dare you, sir? That's not even funny to joke around about.
It really is interesting, like how he's become like a leper. It's really crazy. Like people are just like nobody wants anything to do with him.
I don't know, like all he does is make cuts and finish in the top 30, top 25 easily,
again,
right?
We talk about par 5 scoring being just the most important thing here at Augusta. Rahm has experience at Augusta, and he kills par 5s.
Right. So, all right, all the Rahm too. There we go. Perfect.
We didn't talk about Rory much.
Same thing, but I guess the problem with Rory, and maybe I latch on to something that Pat Mayo said, and I have this bias against it now, and that the last 4 times Rory's top 10'd here, he's never in the mix. He's always like backdooring it. He's never really like a threat to do it. And I keep thinking about that in the sense that I don't want Rory, but the reality is if Rory's been garbage for 4 years and he's still found a top 10 here, and the course is maybe going to be softened up a little bit, so just like the API was. And
he's locked in, isn't he?
And maybe Rory I mean, I'm sure he's been there for quite some time. I mean, he has a private jet, so he could jet over to, his girl and then jet back over to the Masters in no time. And he's probably been, playing his fair share of rounds. I don't know how popular he gets though. And I guess that was my concern. And that's like leading up to this podcast, why I've been kind of looking past him is I kind of expected him to be really popular, but looking at fan share and looking at Fantasy National, he's not as popular as I expected. Like now that we're here on Monday of Masters Week, because it's weird. We've had like a full week of build up to this like podcast, which is very unusual for us. So we have a lot of information to like go through. And I don't know. Maybe Rory I have the wrong perception.
You've got, everyone can't be popular in that range, right? You've got Justin Rose is going to soak up a ton of ownership. Now he's $700 less. You've got Tiger right there. You've got Spieth, $500 more than Rory. Spieth is going to soak up a ton of ownership. So I think out of all those guys, Rory comes in probably the lowest owned. I mean, for me, it was going to be after the API was the narrative going to be that he just couldn't duplicate that putting performance. And, it was just fluky how many putts he hit. But
he doesn't even need to. I just got done saying good putters don't, I can't even take my own damn advice.
Don't shoot the messenger, Jimmy.
No, you're pointing out my own flaws. You're pointing out my own flaws, and it's like, oh my God, why am I looking past Rory? And you just connected the dots for me.
He strikes me as the type of golfer that when he gets hot, I mean, I'm not fading him because
neither am I now.
He's coming in. Hit that deposit button.
Really? Yeah, no kidding. Oh, brutal. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
I'm still not playing Day.
My 2 cents. Wasn't there something about Day with some new irons? I saw that. Did you retweet that today, Jimmy?
No, I didn't. Don't give me a reason to play Day. We got to move on. I don't need a reason to play Day. Listen, I made my money on Day when he won, and that's fine. I don't need another reason to get on him again.
All right.
Where's your loyalty?
Are there any other hot takes you guys have here at the 9K range? Or
they're all hot, Ev. They're all hot.
No,
Bro.
nothing would make me happier than if Rose missed the cut, but it's not going to happen. But like that would I would be jumping up and down for joy on Friday night. It would just be great.
So in the like, you know, in the cosmic alignment hot take, I saw a throwback photo because Poulter won of Poulter and Rose in a limousine circa like 1999. And both of them look like Matthew Fitzpatrick and Cam Smith sitting in that limousine. But you know, if you want some narrative speed, the guy that everyone favors in is Xander Kurtz, the guy that just won his way in, going 1-2. Hot take maybe, but yeah, that's super narrative-y. But it did look cool to see the two of them in that throwback photo, and you know, for them to still be as competitive as they are on tour is pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on. We'll move on to our 8K range here. Andrew, I'll start off with you. Who are you liking here in this range?
Honestly, he's going to be chalk, but I'm going to have quite a bit of Paul Casey. I mean, how can you not with the form, the history, and at 8-8? I mean, yeah, he's going to, like I say, he's going to be high owned, but I think, again, as a safe play, quote unquote, he's my guy. Hideki is getting some buzz at 8-4. I think he'll see his ownership creep up as well. Just looking at his history, he's got 11th last year, 7th the year before, 5th the year before that. Not super top current form, but at that price, I think he's pretty attractive. Yeah, might have some Fleetwood and some GPPs. Sergio, again, I mean, is there a case against Sergio other than he's the defending champion and will inevitably be lower owned than he should be because he can't possibly win?
Can you win at a course after you name your firstborn after one of their holes? I mean, is there like a rule against that?
You can't even win the same tournament 2 years in a row. I don't know if you knew that.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
Yeah. It's never been done.
It's against the PGA Tour rules. So, I
bet Augusta would make a rule against it if they could.
Yeah, exactly. I think Bubba, high risk, high reward is how I view him. Obviously, he's got the form, he's got the history, but he's also got some lower finishes at Augusta. I'm not a Bubba guy. I mean, he could very well win, but I'm just not a Bubba guy. So I think in the 8K range for me, it's going to be Casey, Matsuyama, a little bit of Sergio, maybe some Noren, and that's probably it.
Okay.
How about you guys?
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the worst. Like, Bubba pops in every goddamn model I build. Like, even if I try to make one that like he won't pop in, and he ends up showing up in it. So this might be the first week that I like actively play Bubba, which is probably the worst week because he's going to be so popular. I'm going to play Noren too because I just feel like this is like the range where I'm just going to play all the people I hate. Like, I hate Bubba more than life itself. Like, I don't like Noren at all. Like,
you're gonna hate win a GPP.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna go against all my instincts in the AK range. I am definitely not there, like, mentally to be able to play Hideki, but like the ownership that he's gonna have, I know he's probably like a decent play because obviously the guy is talented as all hell when he has it together. And like we mentioned before, like it doesn't matter if you can putt or not, pretty much. Because, LOL Adam Scott. So there's that. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of Bubba. It's going to be a lot of Casey, some Noren, some Scott. And if I can put it, if I can click his name, I'll have a little bit of Hideki also. But I'm not that excited about this range. Like, I think it's just because of like my own personal bias, but I'm just not like, I'm not thrilled with this. I feel much better about some guys in the 7K range, and obviously up at the top, I feel better about a lot of guys. So I guess we'll let Jimmy make the hot take here.
The hot take is Leishman is the best play in this range.
Oh snap!
That is scorching.
I mean, we're talking about him earlier, so makes sense.
Yeah. So at the Arnold Palmer, so Leishman was garbage. So he had an 8th at the Farmers, and then he was garbage really with his strokes gained approach and just in general from the Waste Management, the Genesis, and Mexico. And his whole game sucked. He had some good strokes gained putting, but that's about it. And everything else was just garbage. And then nobody played him at the API, and his strokes gained approach, he picked up 4.7 strokes on the field, and his putter was just fine. And he didn't hit the ball very well off the tee, which is sort of unusual for Leishman. Leishman also fits all those trends that I mentioned earlier from Dave Tyndall's article, and there's several other guys that do trends articles. But what I think is really interesting about him, what I find most attractive about him is his sub 10% ownership. It'll probably be, depending on your contest, I bet it's less than like 7. Yep. He rates really highly in 2 of my models. He has shown good results here at Augusta. He's also shown a couple of missed cuts. But I think that's what keeps people off of him. We've seen that Mark Leishman can show up in big events. He does have some goals that he outlaid in 2017 about, sort of long-term goals and wanting to get back into the President's Cup, wanting to get in contention at majors, things like that after his major life turnaround, baby, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to take a little bit of a stand on Mark Leishman, mainly because of his ownership, but because of his upside as well. And just sort of expect that nobody else is going to go there in that range. I am interested in Bubba and Paul Casey at the top. I will have some exposure to them, but I think the guy that I'll probably go overweight on the field, and like I said, he'll probably come in less than 7-8%. I'll probably have like 20% of Mark Leishman.
Yeah, I like it. That's it. That's a GPP winning call right there.
I agree. I think you might actually find Mark Leishman in the winning Millie Maker lineup this week.
Oh man,
that's my hot take. Actually,
yeah. I mean, what was Thomas Peters last year? He was in this range, wasn't he?
I think he was cheaper. Actually,
I think he was like mid 7s.
Yeah, but cheaper. You're right.
Like 7,700, 7,600, something like that.
Yeah, but he was around 5%, if I'm not mistaken, last year. Less.
Was he in the winning millionaire maker? I assume he was because he finished 4th.
Yeah, I don't know if he was in the winning Millie maker lineup, but yeah, just there's gonna be a guy in the top 5 at sub 10% ownership.
Yeah.
Right. It's just who's it gonna be?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and I think maybe I think this year there might be 2 guys in the top 10 that are less than 10% ownership. I think one comes from this range, and I think another one comes from the sub $7,500 range. And I've got a couple of takes on who it could be when we get down there, but I believe that you're going to have to take a pretty contrarian stance this week because we're used to a small Masters field, but this is smaller than normal. I mean, really, you can eliminate the bottom 20 guys, and just forget about them. They're not worth playing. They're not worth a chance. It's not like a cool thing. You know what I mean? It's not worth it. You can just get rid of them, which means
even longer.
Fuck longer. That guy is one cheating son of a bitch. Have you seen that guy anchors his putter? He shouldn't have a win on the senior tour. Fuck Bernhard Longer. Moving on. That guy is a cheating motherfucker, man.
Scorching.
Oh man. Yeah, I was gonna say if we needed a hot take, there you go.
I know Jimmy's trigger point now. Bernhard.
No, I don't like cheaters. I don't like cheaters at all. And Bernhard Longer is a fucking cheater, man. You watch that guy putt, and you tell me he's not cheating. You can ask a bunch of other players on the senior tour, and I bet you they'll tell you the same thing.
I was laughing earlier today because I was looking at the headshot we have on Fanshare for Bernhard Longer is like he still looks
Jared Curl, that 60-year-old Jared Curl.
Well, he's probably 50 in the headshot, and the headshots are what? They're probably 15 years old for us. How old is he?
He's up there.
Bernhard Longer.
Scorching.
the angriest longer take I've ever heard in my life.
Let's just look at his history for fun. Well, it's not even that good, is it?
No, because he's got to cheat to putt.
He's got an 8th in 2014. That must have been the year everybody got excited.
He probably was on steroids.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 60 already. So
I was gonna say the guy's isn't he the same age as Gary Player?
no, shut up. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's. Oh goodness!
So, all right, so Mark Leishman was my hot take in the 8K range.
That's fair. All right, so we'll get to our upper 7K range here. Matt, I'll start off with you. I mean, who are you liking here? 7,500 and up.
I mean, is it a hot take to say that I don't really like much of anything in the 7,500 and up range?
Not really.
Like, I don't.
I mean, ownership, no.
I can't.
I mean, if you want to,
yeah.
If you want to play the Poulter narrative a little bit, I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
but not even that.
I think these guys are just going to be a little like, this is the ultimate, like, oh my God, I can get Stenson at 7,800. I'm going to play him everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of, like, sort of just, you see these prices for these guys and you just want to, like, automatically play them. But I don't want to do that because I don't want to get, I don't want to get caught up in some of the ownership here. I think Cantlay next year is going to make a lot of sense, but I don't know that I want to play him this year. I just don't care about this range because I'm just so excited about my boy at 7,400 that I can't even think about this range. I'll have a little bit of Kuchar, maybe a lineup with Berger. I mean, I don't really trust Hatton, but I think it's more because just I hate his like attitude and overall demeanor more than anything else.
So do you hate Jordan Spieth then?
No, not even a little bit. I love Jordan.
Because I think Tyrell and Jordan are like the same person.
No, but he's British, so it's different.
So he's like nicer. He's like a nicer baby.
No, he's annoying. He's like, it's not that's not the same thing to me. Like I can deal with Spieth. I can't deal with Hatton. I don't know why. He just bothers me. I think it's something about his face, but like that's neither here nor there.
Stupid.
It's not even that he's ugly. I just don't like his like expression. Like I don't know. It's just something about his face that I'm not a fan of.
Is that the narratives we play now, though?
If I don't like your face, I'm not playing you.
There you go.
Like maybe Andrew, we could get get like some sort of face measurement on fan share for me.
Yeah. Face receptiveness.
Because Hatton doesn't have it. Hatton's sentiment for his face is way low right now.
There you go.
Face sentiment.
But yeah, like I said, I'll play a lineup or two of Cantlay and Berger, and I'll have a little bit of Kuchar just because I think he pretty clearly makes the cut here, and I'll probably just sort of fade Stenson. I can't play him either. So that's that. Andrew, what are you thinking here? How's ownership looking in this range?
I don't think it's going to be too much of a concern in this range. I mean, Kuchar, I think, is going to soak up some ownership in this range. Stenson, some ownership. Otherwise, I think you don't have to worry about too many of these guys hitting chalk status. So I think you're just looking for the ceiling here. Like for me, the guy I keep looking at right now is Patrick Reed. Do you throw out the match play result and go back to his, what was he? Second at the Valspar and 7th at API? Or if I got that backwards. 1 second.
Yeah, but I mean, does he have enough upside to play in the GPP? I guess is maybe that's my sticking point on Reed because I do really like his current form, But I just wonder, like, is this can he compete on this golf course? Because I'm stuck between playing him and GBPs. Like I'm there with you. I just don't know which way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just looking at the history guide here that Mike Miller puts out, Smart Golf Bets on Twitter. And I mean, you look at, Reed, he's missed some cuts. He's got a 22nd. He's got, where the hell is he? Oh, there he is. He's got a 49th, and he's missed 2 cuts. So it's mixed. It's not stellar. But then you look at other guys, and there seems to be a lot of guys with top 10s just sprinkled in with missed cuts, right? Like Charles Schwartzel, he wins in 2011. Then he's 50th, 25th, missed cut, 38, missed cut, and then a third, like out of nowhere. So, I mean, I'm not writing him off. I think the signs are there. What does it take for him in a GPP to make him a worthwhile play, right? Top 10? I think he's more capable.
Not much at 7,700. Doesn't take a whole lot. I mean, it takes a made cut in the top 20.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I like it. Otherwise, in this range, I know. Well, that's down lower. Again, Stenson. I mean, he'll get some ownership just because people see the official world golf ranking, and it's Stenson, and his form is good, and he's only 7,800. But he's not going to be. I don't think he'll be more than 12%, 15%. So I like him. Those are the 2 guys for me, Reed and Stenson. I think Kuchar's going to get some ownership coming out of last week. Brian Harmon, he was getting some buzz, and then you've got the lefty narrative, so he could be worth a look there. But yeah, all these guys from an ownership perspective, I mean, we've got them at all sub 10%, except for Kuchar and Stenson. That's my take.
All right. So we haven't yet mentioned the guy at the top of the range and Adam Scott. And we didn't mention the guy at the bottom of the range and Daniel Berger. Both coming into this event that they've played well at before and one of them won before in good form. Berger showed surprisingly well last week. At least better, given his rough start, he turned it around. And Scott's been playing pretty well, just hasn't capitalized on the scoring yet. I think Scott's probably fairly popular this week, and I think Berger is not popular at all. Berger worries me because he doesn't traditionally score on par 5s well, but he scores on those long par 4s way better than the field does. I don't know. I think Berger is an interesting GBP play. I probably won't have a ton of Scott just because I don't really believe in Scott. Scott's the guy. Scott will go full Keegan on you as much as Keegan Bradley will, I think. So I'm probably not going to go there, but I do think Berger's interesting. I like Harmon a little bit for the lefty narrative, and Harmon has shown over the last year that he can play in these big fields, these majors. He can hang on courses that are not meant for a shorter hitter like him. He has exceptional long irons. He's a steely putter, saves par a lot, knows how to grind. So I can see Harmon for like a top 20 doing better than his miscut several years ago. So I think I like maybe those 2 guys. I guess I don't really see a ton of upside in this range, so I'm probably not going to go too far up. Kuchar and Cash for sure. Ian Poulter, screw that guy. Harmon and Berger.
Do you think Poulter goes under the radar a little bit just as a late ad, or?
That's a good question. I actually, if he does, I might have a little interest in him because he has played well at the Masters. He's not going to win, but he could absolutely top 15 this event. Like I said, I mean, I don't really like the guy, but he really is incredible when it comes down to like what makes him a great match play player is what enabled him to do what he did last week, right? Knowing what you have to do and just looking it right in the face and just getting it done. It's the same thing. It's the same principle as match play. And he really, he took that on. He can do the same thing here this week. I don't like it, but I might end up having a lineup with him.
Wait, so real quick, Jimmy, going back to your burger take, did you have good luck with burger last week or not so much?
No, I'm not wearing a shirt, right? So no, I didn't. No, I picked Luke List, and nobody should ever pick Luke List to win anything.
I just wanted to quickly bring that up again, just in case.
Also, my hat is sideways, wearing this lovely bandana as well in memoriam to Toby.
Got a little Tupac in you.
Memoriam. You act like the kid's dead.
He probably is dead. Did you see the way he was dressed? He was like 17 years old. He's surely dead by now.
He had a Cookie Monster hat on. Come on.
That kid was hard. He was from the streets, bro.
He was from a street. I don't know about the street.
I don't know if it's from the Tupac streets or anything like that.
Dude, he had Thug Life just below that picture. You just couldn't see it.
Super southeast LA, like a suburb of Phoenix or something.
Oh, exactly.
Like Compton-esque.
I want to see that tattoo next, Jimmy.
I do not have that. I only have the Lucky right
Thug
here.
Life. Yeah.
No regrets.
That's the new bet.
Oh, yeah. If I win the Millionaire Maker, I would get a no regrets tattoo, and I would not regret it.
That would be
$1 million.
so great.
I would hope if you put no regrets on your chest, you know.
That's great.
All right.
All right. Can we get to the guy who's coming in second this week?
Oh, you mean Brandon Grace or Rafa?
Yeah. Or
Rafa.
Hal
you meant Rafa.
You know who
Rafa.
it is.
It's gotta be Hal Tong.
James, you know. Oh, by the way, enough with this freaking narrative with Hao Tong. Like, stop it.
No.
I'm so over that.
Rafa's going to be the one that takes the narrative. He finished third in that event, so he's going to step right in.
He'll finish third in this event then, right?
I'm cool with that. If he finishes third, I'll be awesome.
That's fine.
If Rafa's third, I'll be great.
It's going to be JT 1, Finau 2, Rafa 3. It's perfect.
I'm fine with that.
Right.
That would be the most unlikely
Book it. Book it. I'm in love with Finau again this week. I know that's a shock to most people, but I'm completely in love with Finau, and I'm going to have way too much of him, and I'm probably going to be really annoyed Friday night.
No, so Finau's a guy I'm really struggling with, and I think that there's a lot of merit to playing him. If you look at the simulators, they like him because he scores well on the holes he should score well on. If you look at some stats, he's been playing really well. His around the green game, his typical weakness is better than it has been. But he's a debutante, which, throw it up in the air. Debutantes shouldn't play well no matter what course it is, just statistically speaking over time. So you can kind of throw the debutante out the window. Augusta's very technical, blah, blah, blah. He has a good coach. The coach can give him some guidance here around the course because this coach has been with Daniel Summerhays, I believe, prior to and has played this course. But why can't Tony Finau score on par fives?
Why can't he? Oh, I thought it was like a joke or something.
No, it's a legitimate question because it's the one thing playing him. It's the one reason that keeps me from going all in on Tony Finau. It's the one thing I can't bet him at a course that values par five scoring over everything else. I can't play him in DraftKings on a course that values par five scoring over everything else when the guy, as the longest hitter on tour, can't score on par fives.
That was a lot to handle right there.
You want to feel that one, Matt?
I don't think that anything I can say right now can match that energy.
That energy.
Oh no.
There's my comments on Finau, if you'd like them. Isn't there a Riviera?
There is, and that's a great comp.
Narrative.
I'd say it's a great comp. He played well there, and I think it's interesting. But
yeah, and the other thing is his. Other than that, right? His form is not terrific. The DFS industry loves Finau. He is always high owned. He's got to be the highest owned guy, outside of Charles Howell and Paul Casey. And when you look at just pull up his form, it's not fantastic. Am I missing something?
No, it's not. I mean, I think the thing that makes me most interested is obviously, like you mentioned, the Genesis thing definitely helps. I mean, yeah, he's had a couple of miscuts. Was it Valspar and Phoenix? But like he didn't. It's not like he completely lost it on approach or lost it off the tee completely. Like couple of bad putting performances, and in like, you know, Valspar was a totally different animal this year, right? Like just making the cut at Valspar was a completely different type of game to me at least. And then I kind of throw out like the 3-course waste management stuff. I don't know. Or not 3-course. I can kind of throw that out in my brain just because it was what he lost 2 strokes putting that week. And then he has a runner-up, a bunch of top 30s. He's made a million cuts lately. I don't know. I'm fully admitting that it's an irrational love of Finau for me, but I would not be shocked if he put together like a top 10 this week, personally.
No, and see, that's the thing. That's what's really frustrating, is because I agree with you. I would not be shocked if he put together a really great result this week in the face of like all of the things that say that he shouldn't.
Right.
It's just that I feel like every time we talk about Tony Finau, I say we, I mean the DFS community, I feel like we're always making excuses for why Finau doesn't perform as well as we expect him to. Like, I don't know.
He does leave you. He leaves you wanting more, doesn't he?
He does, and I just feel like it's really hard to pull the trigger on a guy that always leaves me wanting more in a major at a discounted price when I feel like he'll probably be fairly chalky. And that's probably why I won't play Tony Finau this week. But I understand the reasons for it, and I'm wrestling with the decision, but I feel like I'll probably go on the other side.
I think you can eat the ownership at this price, though. Like, he's, what, like $600 more than, like, Danny Willett? Like, I think we can – I think we can –
Rafa's $100 cheaper, so –
Right, and that isn't a knock against – you could play both of them very easily. Like – you could go 100% on Rafa, and I wouldn't fault you at all. But I think you could make the same argument for Finau, because we're talking about GPPs, and even if, you know, what's the highest his ownership is going to get? If you consider him super chalky and he approaches like 25%, if you go 100, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it's just all about how you actually feel about the guy if you're going to go all in. And I think that stacking Finau and Rafa gives you like a huge potential for upside. You can lock in a bunch of guys up top that you know are pretty safe bets to make the cut, and, you know, take a stab somewhere else, and you're looking at a decent chance at a 6-6 and a few top finishes. So why not?
Okay.
Yeah. All right, I'll just plug Finau into my lineup here now.
Lock.
Yeah. Lock, yeah. Deposit, lock. Okay.
Those are both the same thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I would be remiss if I didn't mention, I did, for Pat's show, I did throw in Charlie Hoffman as one of my sleeper picks. He was first and second round leader last year.
Yeah, he did what Charlie Hoffman always does, and he's like Ricky Fowler.
Shit. All right, fine. Pick somebody in this range then, and we'll go with Charlie. I'm kidding. That was not a real thing.
Oh, is this our Abby bet? You're gonna pick Charlie and I pick somebody else? Oh, we're absolutely going with Rafa.
Okay. No, fuck out of here. I love Rafa too. That's not a thing. That's not gonna happen. Oh. We'll figure that out in a minute. But outside of that, in this range,
I'll personally,
the barn rat.
Are you kidding me?
No, I will absolutely take Karadesh over Hoffman.
He's getting some buzz.
Karadesh is going to smash Hoffman. It's going to be glorious.
No, love it. I'm fully in.
Awesome.
Lord. So
any love for Adam Hadwin?
Yes.
Yeah.
You like him?
It's hard not to. Good tee to green. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he's 10th in approach last 24, second and around the green.
36th last year.
Yeah.
Was last year the windy Masters?
The cut line was really high last year. It was nuts.
Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, because one ate everybody up, didn't it?
Yeah.
It played right into the wind. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was one. Yeah. It was last year.
So Thursday, Friday was just a gong show, and I feel like Hadwin was way over par and then staged a bit of a comeback.
He made a rally to he barely made the cut and made a run on Saturday, I think.
He was chalk last year, I think. Well,
he was a chalk debutant.
He was a chalk debutant. Yeah, him and Hatton, I think. So this year,
Hatton's the one that screwed everybody.
Yeah, he did.
His dumb face.
Myself included.
Stupid face. Ugly and stupid.
I like Hadwin here.
Yeah, I can get behind that too. Real quick, I just pulled up my Masters database, and Billy Casper shot 106 in 2005. I just wanted to point that out because I find it hysterical. In the first round, Billy Casper shot 106.
How old was he?
That I don't have on this sheet. Sorry.
I bet you he was north of 80.
He had negative 13 DraftKings points.
That is honestly amazing.
Was he using an anchored putter?
No, talk to Bern. Or talk to
he needs to talk to Bern.
Talk to Bernard.
Bernard, yeah.
I do think Kisner and Webb make, I think, some interesting pivots. Webb being a major champion, putting really well. I don't think this course sets up really well for him at all. I think it's just too long. But for a GPP pivot, I think he makes some sense. And Kisner is interesting for the same reason, and my concerns are the same, just a bit too long for him. But either way, they both have course knowledge. They both should be able to make the cut. I know you're not a big fan of the Hao Tong thing. I do, however, believe that Hao Tong can make the cut and probably put a top 30 together here. I don't think he can get inside of that.
I think that's a reasonable take. I don't not like him. I just think the auto plug-in of oh, well, this has happened last year and 2 years ago, so he's obviously going to win is sort of a ridiculous thing to say.
No,
I think he could make the cut here, but it's just funny to me how people roll with this ridiculous trend and are oh yeah, so it's going to happen for the rest of time that whoever wins that event is going to win the Masters the same year.
Yeah, I do think, however, that Hao Tong is a really, really talented golfer, and I do believe whether it's this year or next year, he's going to show up and win an international event, whether that's a major or a WGC. I do think that before 2020, he wins an international big boy field. I don't think it's this week, though.
Yeah, no, I think that's a reasonable take.
Hoffman is, I think, a phenomenal cash play. If you're down here, Henley, same boat. Another Henley's the guy I should have picked. Fucking Luke List. Henley's the guy I should have picked last week. I don't know if he can put. If since we're talking about trends here, missed cut 31, 21, 11. Anybody else picking up the trend? Just drop the first one. Russell Henley wins. Yeah, so hashtag pattern math, Russell Henley is going to win the Masters. I do think he makes the cut, and I do think he plays well. But I really do like Kirdash. I think Kirdash is the guy down here in the below $7,500 range that is your top 15 guy, top 10 guy. That's my hot take of the podcast. I will be playing lots of Kirdash, and I will be playing lots of a couple of guys below him. But I don't think he gets above 8-9% ownership, and I think he has a ton of upside. And what I really like about Kirdash, first of all, he has some experience here, and his sole appearance, at least in the last 5 years, I don't think he played here before that, had a top 15. But he's super aggressive. He's super aggressive around the cut line because he knows he's either making the cut and making money, or he's missing the cut and he's getting dick. Same thing happens on Sundays. He's either going to make a little bit of money or he's going to make a lot of money. And Kirdash has an expensive lifestyle. Not sure if you guys know, but he's sort of like the Thailandese Michael Jackson, only he's fat and he smokes. So Kirdesh is like, I mean, seriously, if you haven't looked into this guy, he's an awesome character for golf. Like he's beef golf, but for Asia is sort of like the best way to like sort of describe Kirdesh. Super flair, fast cars, opulence out the wazoo. He's got like 3 tiny dogs, which is weird because he's huge. He's also friends with Bubba, which is not the normal friendship you would think of. Like, who the fuck pictured Bubba and this guy together?
I didn't know Bubba had any friends, to be totally
exactly.
honest.
Who the fuck wants to hang out with Bubba?
The last image I have is Kirdesh.
Kirdesh wants to hang out with Bubba. He's smoking heaters on the patio with Bubba. Either way, I really like Kirdesh this week.
All right. Well, as long as he finishes behind Hoffman, I'm fine with that.
Trying to figure out this guy's net worth.
Jimmy, are you in sales by chance?
Am I in sales?
Yeah.
Why?
You're selling me on all these guys.
Dude, I'm always selling. Didn't you see Glenn Close or Glenn Ross? ABC, man, always be closing.
As a matter of fact, I didn't.
Glenn Close is one of my favorite things that's ever been said on this podcast.
Probably stuck together too.
Oh Lord! All right, what do you say we go 2 guys that we like under 7K, and update the one and dones and get out of here because we're running a little long.
Only 2. Okay.
All right.
Jimmy, hit me. I know you have some hot ones down here.
I have to go first. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
No pressure. Zero pressure.
I will have some Kevin Chappell because I don't believe his back is entirely hurt. So there's that. I will have some Pat Perez because he has a mullet. Bryson DeChambeau, I really do like. He's going to get really chalky. I'm having a hard time adjusting to the chalkiness of Bryson DeChambeau, which is a little unfortunate because I really do like him. He will be in my 1 cash lineup. Yes, Matt, I am playing a cash game lineup this week. And he will have some GPP exposure from him. But my guy, my hot take down here, Jimmy Walker. I really do think that Jimmy Walker makes the cut, plays much better than 6,800, has a legit opportunity to top 20 this event. That was fast for you. Was that fast enough? Oh, also, real quick.
You broke the 2-guy rule, but you said it quickly enough that I'll allow it.
I'm going to add one more guy. Ted Potter Jr., lefty narrative, had some experience here.
I'm cutting this part out. I'm cutting the Ted Potter take out.
Play Ted Potter Jr.
TPJ.
If anybody's still listening to this.
Yeah, if we still have anyone at this point. Andrew, 2 guys.
So I'm with Jimmy on Bryson. I do agree. He's going to get somewhat chalky, but he checks a lot of the boxes for me. And I'm going to throw out Kyle Stanley.
Great ball striker. Can't putt worth a shit. Probably going to win.
There you go. Fits the trends. 3% ownership.
Yeah, last time I mentioned Kyle Stanley's name on this show, I got shat on for 5 minutes.
I'm a guest, though.
Well, yeah, we're not used to you saying anybody but Glover, Ev. That's the problem.
I was just gonna go in at Glover.
Unfortunately, he didn't quite make the cut, I guess.
Yeah, he doesn't.
After
he doesn't
going first round leader, Bull Keegan miscut.
Yeah, my expertise is Glover, McNeely, and Will Wilcox.
You're the Willie Wilcox whisperer.
I am.
You should whisper to him to play better.
Yeah, I was gonna say when DK offers some web tour, we'll get back on Willie.
Hey, they have Xfinity Series for NASCAR.
I know, dude. Web tour's coming. It's going full DJ.
That would be great. I mean, how much of an edge would there be for that if you paid attention to web?
That's true. So all you got to do is play Willie.
I know we're going long and we're down here, but really, Ted Potter Jr. won on a long course in a big boy field and bested Dustin Johnson as a lefty.
I'm cutting all of this out. I don't know why you keep talking about him.
I'm just saying, like,
You
It's
will
literally
be single-handedly responsible for all TPJ tags this week.
No, I saw a fantasy golf man tag him once.
no. It's Jim. This is just gonna be like the ultimate like sense. They're just like beep over the Ted Potter name. I'll leave everything else in. I'll just beep out his name.
Oh God.
6,600.
Yeah, that's egregious. Speaking of egregious, since you guys took my guys, you got to throw in a lineup with Fred Couples. Like you just have to.
No.
It's a Masters tradition. You just have to do it.
No, he's got a bad back.
Bad back narrative.
Oh my God, he's had a bad back since Evan was in diapers. Like, of course. Like, what the hell's the difference? Whatever. No, you know what? If you want to go real DGen Avi bet, I'll take him over Ted Potter.
To make the cut?
I'll take him over Ted Potter.
What, do you do this for DK points?
Straight up, no, not DK
Yeah,
points.
DK?
No.
Scoring, just regular golf scoring.
All right.
No. We have Kirdash over. Who is your pick?
Not so confident anymore, huh?
No, I'm confident in Kirdash over Hoffman.
All right, we'll see. All right, real quick, one and done updates. Evan didn't get his pick in again this week. Shocker of the century. I know everybody is just like falling out of their chairs right now, concerned about it.
Disappointed.
Just
All
real.
I came out into a hot lead.
So Ev is still at 1.3 million because hasn't made a pick since I think Pebble.
Lord.
Jimmy's 1.5. Just under 2.5. All right, what are you thinking here, Jimmy?
I am thinking either Mark Leishman, Ricky Fowler, Phil Mickelson, Bubba Watson. Those are my 4 picks. I haven't quite narrowed. I didn't think you were going to meet immediately, so I wasn't prepared to narrow those 4 down yet, mainly because I'm not sure if I've used Phil yet. But I think ultimately I will probably end up going with Bubba because I'm certain that I haven't used him yet in our one and done league.
Yeah. Ev, I know you're just gonna say it here and not actually plug it in. So what do you got?
No, I'll log in and I'll plug it in as I speak. I'm going Phil.
Going Phil. All right.
I'm going Phil.
All right. Andrew, you do any one and done stuff?
I do the Gups Corner.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm in on that, and I'm gonna use my Tiger this week.
Ooh. So you are playing your conviction from early in the podcast that driving accuracy does not matter.
I'm sticking to it.
I like it. I like the conviction.
Sticking to it. I mean, has that not been an issue his whole career?
It absolutely has been an issue his entire career.
I think there's something in the comeback and how this narrative is being attached. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's not striping it down the center of the fairway, but I think his game is just being analyzed so much that it's in focus, right? Because it's like the missing piece.
So before we go, I know we're running long, but I have got to get some takes on this. So this is the Masters. This is big time. Tiger pairing. So Rory several weeks back said that it really, really bothers him, right? Then you had Ricky on Faraday say that Tiger makes him better. And then everybody else is a big question mark, but we know that being paired with Tiger is a big deal. Do we factor that in this week? Do we factor in the Tiger pairing, the curse of the Tiger pairing, the buzz? Or is it dependent on who gets paired with him? So just quick take. We don't have to go too long on it, but I kind of want to get your takes on this because, like, Ricky says it makes him better. It makes him focus, and he wants to, like, best Tiger.
Yeah.
And I bet there's other people on the tour that feel the same way. And then Rory's just like, dude, I don't want to be anywhere near this guy. It's too much blah, blah, blah. Like, what's your take, and are you going to play the guy that's paired with Tiger regardless of who it is, if it's your guy?
I think that's way down on my list of
okay.
That's like a tie. That's like a second or third tiebreaker for me.
Okay.
I'm not weighting it too heavily. If it is Rory, then based on his comments, I will. But other than that, there's too many other things to factor in for me to worry about that this week.
Okay, Andrew.
I think it depends who it is and what range it is, right? Like if it's a seasoned vet, then I'm not too concerned. I mean, I don't think they're going to crumble necessarily playing with Tiger. I'd like to see the stats on it, though. I know, I don't know if it's Justin Ray from Golf Channel or one of those guys tweeted out something recently about career scoring averages for Jason Day when playing with Tiger Woods. I can't remember if it was lower or higher than Tiger when they're paired together, but there was a trend, and it would be interesting to see that for other guys. But yeah, if it's like, I mean, who do you think they're going to pair him with?
I heard he's playing a practice round with Phil tomorrow, but if I had to guess, it would be like a neutral Euro to start, like Rose, Casey, Noren, Fleetwood, something like that would be my guess. So like to start, like if like a Thursday, Friday pairing, I would suspect to be somewhere like that. I don't think they would go for a blockbuster, huge pairing type. I could be wrong too. I don't know, but I don't see him and Phil or him and DJ or him and Justin being paired together right from the get go. Like the top, like I don't see the top 4 or 5 guys being paired together right away.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see, but I don't think it's going to have a huge impact on my process.
I think it has way less of an impact now than it did the last time Tiger came back, because if a guy like Sam Ryder can do what he did playing with Tiger, I think that says a lot about the youth of golf, and that the Tiger, the thing that Tiger used to have over the field just doesn't exist anymore. When people like Sam Burns, you're right now, Sam Ryder. Yeah. When people like that can like rise up to the challenge in an event with him, that it's just not the same guy. Right? Not that he can't win, not that he can't do it. It's just not the same interaction with the field that he has.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Anyway, sorry I ran long, Matt.
No,
that's fine.
All right, that'll do it for us. This has been the Bogey Free Podcast for the Masters. If you want to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, you can do so by searching Bogey Free, or you can do so on iTunes as well. We are under Bogey Free as well. Andrew, thanks for being on the show today. Good stuff.
Thank you, guys. It was fun.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, if you're not winning all the money, we hope you guys do. So good luck in your contest this week.
I'm winning the Millie.
Mark Leishman.